on command blocks, I'll be talking about basic command blocks and what they do, how to get them, coordinates, how they relate, and how they respond to certain commands. So, let's say we want to TP a player, the closest player to relative coordinates are set with the tilde sign, which is we press shift and then press the apostrophe key, or I think that is. No, it's not the apostrophe key. It's usually the backwards apostrophe, whatever you call it, but you press shift and press that. It's in the top left of your keyboard. And then we want to set one above it, so actually let's set 10 to make a difference. Then we grab a button. And bam. It's relative of the player, I think, yeah. Oops, dropped my button. Bam, bam. I go 10 blocks higher. If you want to know 10 blocks to the left, I would just put tilde and 10 blocks to my right, actually. Yeah. If I want to go to the left, you can also do negatives, so I can do negative 10 and go that way. Now over here. Those are relative coordinates. Now actual coordinates, let's say I want to TP over here, right over here. -3 and then 187. Okay. -3 and 187. -3, 56, -187. Now actual coordinates have where you can spawn inside the block, but I think they fixed that so it automatically, yeah, they already added that, so 0.5. So now our TP right here. Now you can't add a pitch and yaw, or like which direction you're facing, so hopefully that'll be added. But anyways, so now we have our variables. We have the at sign, which is the shift 2, at P, at R, and at A. As you see when you open the command block, it says use a at P to target nearest player, so you can do TP, oops, press player in a radius of 3, and R stands for radius, 2, tilde, make sure spaces, and tilde 4 above. So there's a person within 2, I'm not within 2 blocks of it, I'm not. So I step within TP me 4 blocks above. So there. So now, if this would be better if I had more people on to show it, but for the next one, I would TP all players to SCP to 0, 10. I'll do it 70 to 0. I think I'm actually close. I think that's 0, 0 over there, so. What's the command? Okay. And then I'll go over here at the start, where our first video was. So, if there's everybody on the server, if you got a server or a private server where you want to TP everyone using creating an adventure map or any other mini game, if you want to TP everybody, and if they have a score, actually, so let me create a scoreboard objective. I'm gonna hit YouTube, and I'll define what it means. It's dummy. Oopsie. I'll put the add YouTube dummy tube. Okay, I don't know why you're not working. I spelled objective wrong. Oh, it's objectives. Oops. Sorry. There you go. So now, if we, I'll show you before I set the score. TP all players with a score of YouTube 2 equal to 1, and then a minimum score of that YouTube variable or objective minimum equal to 1, and then we're TPing them to 0, 70, 0. So now it's saying TP all players, but all players with the score YouTube equal to 1. We don't have a scoreboard equal to 1, so scoreboard objectives set display sidebar YouTube. See, our score is equal to 0, so we do scoreboard players and 27 YouTube 1. Oh, I set. Okay, set players. Oops, not me do that. YouTube 1. There we go. And now it should TPS because our score is equal to that. It's kind of like if statements in programming. That's also kind of what a test for command is too. See, if we want to test for a person within a certain radius or at certain coordinates within a certain radius. So now if we want to do this with our test for we can test for closest player to, well, we're only down here to x equals, I'll put my current coordinates right now, equals y equals 56, z equals, z equal to -187, I think that is, yes. And then what we can also do is in a radius of 2, and then we can also add our score of YouTube equaling to 1 and our minimum score YouTube min equaling to 1, and then it will TP them to, I'll just TP us back, TPS relative, put us back, -10, put us back over there. And that might look like a long command, but it's actually not. I'll copy it. Okay, done. So what we have is, yeah, I said it right. It will, I added something I probably shouldn't have. Okay, so wanna put it in my chat and not have this in here. Control A, Control C. Now we just, now it should look like that. And then what we actually could do is hook up a hopper clock, which are very optimized in a way so they're very good for servers. They don't cause as much lag. And they're used in a wide range. We're testing for a person. Now we're in the radius. Now we're not. Now we're in the radius. What it will do is you can set this to TP someone. TP that person with that score. I'll copy the copy this part, so I'm typing TP that person with that score to relative coordinates to them, but I'll put them back 10 blocks. Well, before it actually. So now we're over here, 10 blocks. So now let's go on the radius again. Oh, now we're over here. And with the new update, you won't notice moving as much, I should say. When you TP, so that'll be good. So let's say you're walking and like, oh, I want to look like a TP in the same room. Like it's continuous. So that will be fixed, so it won't look as much. So also, if I scoreboard clear myself, oh, it's not clear, it's reset. There we go. And now it won't TP me because my score of game mode is not equal to the minimum score that we've set here. So we have we can use commands to set blocks. um, in the new update, the Redstone update, might have been the Redstone update, but we can use a language called JSON. The language is used in, I think, web programming, I think, or maybe not. This is me guessing. But I know it stands for JavaScript something. So, anyways, a good command that we can use for that is let me use set block. You can also set blocks with like entities and tile data and chests with entities inside of them. I'm typing that out with Notepad right now, so I don't have to do it for you guys. Oops. Now. Okay. Oop, did I set that right? Block. So now we can set a block relative to the. Since we're using set blocks, you can actually do relative of the actual command block. So that's, I keep saying block to make it 2 higher than command block. And now we have, I think, the chest. Oh, actually, Minecraft chest. And we have to do a 0 replace. And that just replaces all the items with what we're going to do. So wherever we write JSON, we always put those curly brackets. And we put items. Let's do this. And 7. Just count. 1. I'm not sure you have to put the damage in there, but hopefully this will work. And this puts it in the first slot. And if you guys don't know, whenever you're programming, all the slots, when you refer to like numbers, the first slot is always going to be 0. Oops, yeah, I put an @ sign there too. And then we put closing, and then that. That hopefully will work. And then we have zombies. Yeah, it worked. So what that's going is I don't think it's put this damage one in here. So let me see what happens if you don't. Okay, yeah. So if we're gonna okay, that's what I had that for. I had something in my notepad from putting certain zombies heads and different kind of heads. So yeah, if we want to put damage values, those change the technically the tile entity data, or like someone's head or something like that. So damage 3, I think might. Steven. Okay, yeah, 3 is not valid, so put 1. How was that? Wither. Okay, yeah. Pick up you guys. So if you set that, that's just gonna replace. Okay. Talk to the command. It's setting a block relative 2 blocks above the command block, and setting a chest, and replacing the chest with the items 397, which is the head. So you put one of the heads with the damage value of 1, which is a wither head, and it's going to put it in the first slot, also known as 0. So we're about getting to the end. Right now I'm going to show you a long command I typed in a notepad that has some you'll see what it does. It's cool. Okay, here we go. And if you see that, I'll walk you through it when I'm done. Right there. It's, guess what it spawned? A chicken spawner. So let me see if it actually spawns. Let me break some of. So we can actually spawn command blocks in game without, well, I guess I should say certain command blocks, certain mob spawners with do I have my game rule mob spawning? Mob. Oh, do. So it is. Anyways, this is what this should do. It should spawn technically chickens. But that's not working. But hopefully, you guys. I hope I did that right. But I think I hit my mic there. But there's also another way to do it. I'll put another one right here. Here's a much simpler way to do it. I think here's a lot. I put bam, and that will put a zombie. So now, before I look at it, hope you guys can see it. It's spawning a zombie, or it's spawning a mob spawner relative to these coordinates, and it's replacing the block in that area with the entity ID of a zombie, which is put in there. And when you spawn mob spawners, that's what the entity will be. What's spinning around, and the data. What we have is equipment with this diamond sword, and it's only one because I don't know how they would hold 2 diamond swords. And that's what if you want to set a spawner with. Obviously, these aren't going off because I'm in creative, but if you were want them to spawn off, they would spawn diamond zombies with diamond swords. So yeah. So now I'm gonna finish off with going over the arguments. Arguments are things you use after you use your variables. So in arguments we have our we have our x, our y, and our z. Those are our basic coordinates. X is our front and back. This is for me right now. Forward and backwards is my x for my position right now. X is up and down. My z is left and right. And our R stands for the radius. And with your radius, you can actually set a minimum radius by doing RM. So if you like maximum, R actually technically means a maximum radius. So if you set a minimum radius into a maximum radius, you can actually technically select an area. But there's also another argument called M, which is the player's game mode. So you can get a player's game mode. C, number of players or entities. If it's negative, this is also something good to know. If it's negative, it uses players from the end of the list to the first. So list from the first what it gets and then to the end. L means maximum experience levels. LM, basically when you want to choose a minimum, you put M after the original variable. It's minimum experience level. And what we have is our score name, or our score underscore, then the objective name. As you see here, I use my YouTube objective. Of course, you would have to create the objective before you were to use it. And then as I put in here earlier, we have a minimum that the objective has to meet for the boolean to equal true. Boolean is just true or false statements. I think I defined that earlier. Teams are also used. You can also specify if a person's not on that team, perform something. Name, and they can use players with a certain name or not a name, same as above. Same as what I said earlier. And then type. We can check for entities that way, or like you can check for a horse being somewhere, or a horse not being somewhere. So basically, if you want this, I won't actually run this command. So I'll put this here. So if you test for that, okay. So we have their team being red, okay, and we had an objective called death that was scanning for death count, that would be good. And if we had an objective called kills, that was scanning for total kill count, that would work too. Now we have our minimum experience level and our maximum experience level. We have our number of players or entities here, and then we have our player game mode. And we have our minimum radius, and we have our coordinates here, or this one right here. Our 10 is actually a radius. It should technically be defined actually. And then we have our x, or we have our z, y, and x. So there's that command that uses all of the technically not all of them. I don't think it involves type, but it might. But anyways, those are basically the basics of